So, we've all played around with AI chatbots, right? But what if the conversation didn't just have to die inside that little chat window? Today, we're going to look at an AI that doesn't just talk, it actually builds things. This is Claude Code, and it's a huge leap from just getting information to getting real-world action.
No, I mean, really think about that for a second. Almost every time we use an AI, there's this invisible wall. You ask it to write some code, and what do you get? A block of text. Now it's on you to copy it, paste it, and figure out what to do with it. But what if that whole step just disappeared?
This slide just lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you've got your typical AI, basically trapped in a browser tab. It's smart, it can write, but it can't do anything. And on the other hand, you've got Claude Code. It's like it lives right on your computer, ready to take your words and turn them into real files, real folders, and real running apps.
To really get why this is such a game changer, we have to start with that feeling of frustration. The one that so many of us have with the AI tools we're using right now.
This quote from the source material absolutely nails it. You have this flash of brilliance, the AI spits out the perfect code for a landing page, and then crickets. It just stops. The momentum dies right there at the edge of the browser, and now the hard work is back on your shoulders.
And that kicks off this whole painful cycle, doesn't it? You're constantly copying and pasting, just hoping you're putting it in the right file. You have to feed it the same context over and over again because it forgets everything. And it can't do the most basic things like, just create a new file on your desktop. It's kind of helpless.
So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's about shifting our entire perspective on what an AI is. If the old model is a chatbot, the new one is something else entirely, something way more capable.
This is the absolute best way to wrap your head around Claude Code. It's not some passive assistant you chat with. It's an active team member. It's like having a junior developer that you can onboard, teach your processes, and then delegate actual work to, all from your command line. And the workflow couldn't be simpler. You just describe what you want in plain English, and then Claude gets to work. It rates the files, it runs the commands to build everything out, and then it shows you the final result. It's all one fluid motion. No more copy-paste madness.
And this is not just some theory. The source we're looking at highlights people who are getting wild results. You've got Jane, a solopreneur who's building out entire business systems, a developer named Mark who spun up 2 full apps in 3 weeks. And then there's Prakhar, who whipped up his first landing page in only 15 minutes with just a few prompts. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so the potential is obviously off the charts, but how do you go from just using it to really, truly mastering it? That's what this next section is all about.
And here it is, the most critical mindset shift you have to make. The real goal isn't just getting good at writing clever one-off commands. The secret to unlocking insane leverage is to teach the AI your workflow, your preferences, your whole process, so it can work for you over and over again. The first pillar of this whole system is context, and it all lives in a single file called Claude.md. The easiest way to think of this is as the project's brain. It's the one-page document you'd give a new developer on their first day, It has all the rules, the goals, the tech stack, everything they need to know to get started. Now, going a level deeper than the high-level context, we have skills. So if the Claude.md file is the brain, think of skills as the expert muscle memory. These are your playbooks, your SOPs. You teach Claude how to do a complex, repeatable job perfectly just one time, and it remembers it forever. And what's wild is that it starts to use these skills automatically when it thinks they're needed. And finally, we have planning. Look, for anything really complex, you can't just throw a giant, messy prompt at the AI and hope for the best. It has a limited memory window, and this leads to a problem called context rot, where it literally forgets the instructions you gave it at the beginning. The fix? You plan ahead. You break down big projects into small, focused tasks. This table really shows the difference between a simple command and a true skill. I mean, look at this. A basic command, you have to type it in manually every time. A skill can be triggered automatically. A command is simple. A skill is powerful enough to handle serious complexity. But here's the kicker. A command has zero context, while a skill is deeply aware of the entire project. It's a whole different ballgame. So when you start to combine these 3 concepts, context, skills, and planning, you're not just using a tool anymore. You're actually building something much, much bigger. And this is the ultimate vision, really. You're creating a personalized operating system for how you do business. A system where your unique processes, your professional voice, and your deep expertise are all encoded into rules and skills that an AI can then execute for you. And this system is super smart. It's hierarchical, so you can have a main business OS folder that holds all your master rules. Then, inside that, you can have subprojects like client work or a content engine, and they automatically inherit all those master rules, but you can also give them their own specific instructions. This idea of parent inheritance is what makes the whole system so darn efficient. It creates these powerful layers of context where you never have to repeat yourself. You define a rule one time at the top level, and every single project underneath it knows that rule automatically.
So what does this all mean? Where is this all going? Well, it's all pointing to a future that is way more agentic. Agentic AI. That's the key phrase here. It describes an AI that finally breaks out of the chat window. It's not just about giving you information anymore. It's about an AI that takes your instructions and actually performs actions in the digital world to make them a reality. It turns your intent into a finished product. So let's bring it all home. What are the big takeaways? First, you gotta shift your mindset from simply prompting to actually teaching. Second, you need to build your knowledge into reusable skills so you can get high-quality work done consistently. And third, for anything big, you have to plan it out into smaller chunks to keep the AI focused and avoid that context rot.
And that leaves us with one final big question. I want you to try and forget the limitations of the chatbots we have today, and instead just ask yourself this: what would you build? What incredible systems would you create if you had an AI partner that truly deeply understood your context, your process, and exactly how you get things done?